So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Recreation and Amenities Committee of the 20th of March. This meeting is being recorded for publication on the Thatcham Town Council YouTube channel. Item 1, apologies for absence.
Thank you, Chairman. Apologies received from councillors Steve Ardell-Walter, Jeremy Cottam, Lourdes Cottam and Simon Pike.
Thank you very much. Any declarations of interest? No. Let's say. Okay. So you have the minutes of the meeting of the 27th of February proposed. Thank you. Do I have a second to that? Yeah. All those in favour? Excellent. Thank you. Matters arising therefrom, Madam Clerk.
One item to report, Chairman. Members may recall at the last meeting, it was requested that I follow up with West Berkshire Council about the lack of meetings of the Kennet Leisure Centre joint advisory.
Yes.
I have done so and received a response that the officer, the current sport and leisure officer, is either about to leave or has just left West Berkshire Council, and it is expected that the replacement will pick up these meetings going forward. So as soon as I know who is in that post, I will get in touch and request that the meetings resume.
Okay. Thank you very much for following up on that. Any other matters arising? Okay then, with that we'll move on to income and expenditure. Does anything you'd like to ask about?
I will be just ask if I may, Chairman. Expenses recovered from the tax youth workers? Or have I misread? Am I reading it the wrong way round? It's an extra payment we've made to them.
Expenses recovered are where we have paid out and then sought reimbursement from another organisation. This was last financial year, and this was part of the school holiday action summer programme. And we had a grant from West Berkshire Council, but via Berkshire Youth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Councillor Cobb.
General, I'm presuming the projected at 17,000 less than actually spent that's a factor of the way this printout works, isn't it? Because we've still projected 17,000 spending, but we've actually spent 19,357. So we can't be projecting less than we've actually spent unless there's anything coming back in. Isn't there something about a transfer from EMR?
Yes, so there's a projected use of 3,075 from earmarked here, which brings it back then in line with the budget at 17,000.
But the EMR, we can't put the EMR in the projected, is that correct?
It's in the projected, but it's not in the actual yet.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry, the other way around. Yeah. Thank you.
Happy with that? Okay.
We're close to year end.
Yeah.
Some of the projected obviously still need to be updated because we're projecting less there than the actual. So some just need to be updated. The bottom figures is always a good guide. No, with Birdwood, it's the reduced income. Likewise with the Frank Hutchings. Sure. Affected at quite a reduced income at the cemetery.
Right, yes. Is there any, shouldn't say any signs of it picking up, but is there anything we can do about that really?
No, it's very difficult. And those projected figures need to be updated because they are lower than the actual, but it's not going to make a large difference. The allotment, the reason why allotments reads considerably higher than the projected is because there's a transaction at year end, because the allotments are invoiced calendar year, where we work by financial year. So a chunk of that 10,000 will be moved out as part of a year end process.
I see. Any other general points on this? Thank you. So moving on to item 6, Henwick the Joint Management Committee to receive a note in minutes. Any questions on those?
Just one thing, Chair. I have been told that because we see from the grounds maintenance contract update, which I think I'm right in saying, the clerk will correct me. They used to have some things in the Henwick budget which have now been taken out because they weren't actually directly related to Henwick. So the ground maintenance contract will actually be lower next year. And we have had an indication, although without any figures, that the overall bill for Henwick may well be lower next year as well, due to that. But it's probably an awful lot that can happen between now and then. So I'm not holding my breath. Still, there's an indication that it might be slightly lower, which would be welcome.
Would be welcome news.
All donations are gratefully received to the council.
Particularly towards the 100 grand for the boilers, I should imagine. Okay, we're just noting there something. Okay, essential tools for the new maintenance officer position. The provide expenditure of £602 for the purchase of essential tools for the maintenance officer post. And yes, as it says there, Councillor Cole and I were asked to approve it pending committee agreement in accordance with standing orders. Councillor Cole.
Just to say, Chair, we always knew that there was going to be a requirement for tools for aforesaid officer, so there's nothing out of the way to my mind. But then I would say that because I approved it.
Councillor Jeffrey.
I was just going to say, I'm sure I've got a spare fork in my garden shed, and you could have had that. Failing that, I would propose that
I'm sure
the action that you and Mike took.
I'm sure it's all seems to be very specific and specialised. So yeah.
I propose ratification, Chairman.
Thank you.
Seconded.
All in favour? Thank you. Item 8 to receive and consider adoption of the minutes of the Heritage Working Party. Work is progressing towards the new plaque outside the White's Butcher's shop. If we can find a bit of wall large enough to stick it on.
Is that big, is it?
Sadly, it's mostly glass these days, but. Also, there is discussion of the time capsule project. We don't have a specific request for funding for that this evening, but they are working on it.
Who are we going to put in it?
Sorry?
Who are we going to put in it?
It wasn't going to be people, it was going to be things.
I see.
Well, I know he come to mention it.
Put him in there.
I think Thatcham could do with an anchorite or an anchorette.
Okay, so any questions?
Sorry, I beg your pardon, I didn't have a chance. I was actually going to say, I propose that we just accept them as a.
Seconded.
Thank you. All in favour? Thank you very much. Community Projects Fund application. An application from the Dementia Friendly West Berkshire for £250 to support a garden party to coincide with Dementia Action Week. That I believe is in May, is that right? Is that the one? May the 19th.
Chairman, having read the information, I'm happy to support proposed officer's recommendation.
Thank you, councillor. Seconder, thank you. And any further comments? All those in favour? Thank you very much. So, item 10, Frank Hutchings, to consider a recommendation from the extraordinary meeting of the Finance and General Purposes Committee that Hall 1 of the Frank Hutchings Community Hall be renamed Jubilee Hall in recognition of installation of the Mayor's Legacy tableau. Councillor Jeffrey.
Mr. Chairman, I think it's an excellent idea. I think it's entirely sensible and reasonable, and I would be happy. I don't. Do you want a formal proposal, or do you want other people to speak first? But I'd be very happy to propose it.
Seconded.
Okay, thank you. I mean, I suppose just one comment before we vote on it. I mean, will Councillor Hutchings' family be consulted on that, or would that be appropriate? I'm just slightly concerned about his name disappearing from.
It's a room.
It's the room.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So the hall will still be there.
Yes.
Okay.
In the Frank Hutchings
Just the one room. That's fine.
That'll be the Jubilee room.
Definitely wouldn't go
It
there.
concerned me slightly.
That was close. Just for the record, not that anyone's going to give a monkeys about it. I think it's an utterly irrelevant proposition and totally nothing to do with the action. I shake my head in utter disbelief that we are stuck in this ridiculous behaviour. There you go. I vote against.
May I say, Chair, I have got Councillor Field for his consistency over the last 4 years.
I think it's a wonderful idea, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman,
And his powers of observation over the last 4 years as well.
Yes.
just one thing to note, Chairman, and I think actually you've given a very good example there. I think possibly calling it Jubilee Hall could be misleading because it will still be the Frank Hutchings Hall. Maybe the Jubilee Room.
Yes, room.
They tend to be rooms within.
I think that's what confused me.
That's what me over. Okay then. proposal repairs room instead of four.
Yes,
And I would
Thank
say,
you.
and I would second, you really rude.
that sounds an excellent amendment. All those in favour of that? One abstention? How many against?
I'll go against.
Oh, you're voting against. Fair enough.
I'll use two hands.
We
Number.
just snuck that one through.
Okay, Wildflowers, London Road Cemetery, to note that an application of the owner's sustainability fund to create a wildflower meadow, currently unused land in the cemetery, was successful with an award of £1,000. The ground has been prepared and seeded, and it's hoped that the area will bloom this year. Excellent piece of news.
Yeah. Proposed noted, Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, so on to incidents.
There isn't any, Chairman.
No incidents.
I think it,
Another excellent piece of news.
I think it's because it's been raining. Chilly. They're all indoors.
Yeah. That's obviously the answer. How can we arrange that? No, maybe not. Hmm. Okay, well, that's very good. So on to approval of payments then, please.
Answer any questions that might
Okay, can we scroll through again and just shout if you've got any questions for the clerk?
Waiting for words of wisdom from councillor Cole, obviously.
Wait a long time for that.
We know it's in counted. Well, yeah. It might be.
Just one,
Sorry, councillor
Chair, I'm not sure whether we've got to it, my eyesight is awful. The play inspection company training for new inspector, that is the maintenance officer who will be taking over the inspections once every 2 weeks. Hence retaining the once every 2 weeks, which actually knocks a bit off the direct budget. Doesn't knock so much off once you've taken their time into account, but
Mr. Chairman, not a very critical point, but doesn't it sometimes seem a little bit amusing that we have in there the cleaning products, £57.57 or something, followed by contribution to looking after Henny of 30 grand. There's my first check, this is my second check.
Yes, yeah. Slightly ironic. So any further points on approval of payments?
sorry, Jack, just
For Cole.
it is actually the payment to West BACS for Henwick Sports Field, which at 30,000 obviously isn't the total. But the total's 46,000, whatever it is, this year. Have we already paid the other 16,000 more?
Chairman, I can answer that.
Yes, please, yes.
This is the first 3 quarters, and then the year-end figure will be, what's the word? Can't think the word.
Yeah. That's not what it's.
When they've done the calculation at year-end, in a final bill for the year. Reconciled.
Reconciled, yeah, that's a good one.
Noted, Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we vote on that one?
Propose approved.
Yeah. All those in favour? Thank you. Okay, reports by town council appointees. Not much to report from the Friends of Thatcham Library at the moment. I think we'll be a little bit more on our discussions about funding at a future meeting, but nothing to report tonight. All going well, I think. So Henwick Joint Management Committee, do we have anyone from there? No, we don't. By the look of it. Kennet Leisure Centre.
As advised.
As advised, right, good. We don't have councillor Cottam for the Bluecoat School. We do have councillor Field for the allotment club.
Yes. Well, sit back. Have you done buckle up? I do occasionally bump into Keith whilst I'm walking the dog. So I have a casual update on the allotments. They have no sort of issues or demands, so they're all very happy ticking along over there. Obviously, the winter's a quieter month. I hear more about how he broke someone's leg with a golf ball. Goodness. Is that the target? Yeah, it was broke his shin.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Anyway, that's by the by. They're all fine, and they have no information to pass to us.
Councillor Cottam.
Wasn't there a rumour that the allotments were going to be renamed the King Charles Thatcham allotment?
I believe I recall, yes. And we're going to have a big ceremony. And you can bury all the millions there instead of in the Cayman Islands. And you are officially invited. Excellent, I'll be there, don't you worry.
Yes, you'll be cut.
My outfit ready. With a Union Jack.
Sorry, couldn't resist. Okay, thank you very much. Thatcham Memorial Foundation, councillor Cole.
Nothing much to report, Chair. There's still some issues with the playground, new playground. We've got the water and the spring that suddenly appeared just about sorted with drainage, etc. There's a couple of issues with the supply of some of the equipment, which isn't actually the right size. So that's a bit ongoing. So the official opening has been put back until something like the third week in May.
19th of May, I think it is, because it's the same day as the Dementia garden party, I think.
Lord Lieutenant has been invited as patron of the charity to come and open aforesaid playground.
Went up to see the snowdrops the other day. They were very fine.
They are, it's the time of the year. Particularly at Welford,
Yeah,
famous.
that's his place. Yeah. Thank you. So nothing on the parish hall, I suspect. Although obviously there's a lot of work going on there at the moment to rectify things. Nothing on the cricket club or the heritage forum. What's about sustainable communities, plastic-free Thatcham?
I must beg forgiveness. I am continually overcome with waves of grief following the loss of Her Majesty, and they have always coincided with any business to do with this. So I've been out of contact with them. Good grieving. Okay, thank you.
I would remind you, there is still a fortress called the Tower of London. Not everybody that went there came out happy.
Off with his head.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end of the agenda. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Fantastically well.